Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of Note to Self. Today we're gonna be talking about sickness and how to take care of yourself during the holidays, because it's usually around the time people start getting sick. But before we get into it, we have a check-in question. So what's everyone's favorite winter/holiday dish?
For go on. I need to get my ears checked. I thought you said thickness. I was like, but hey, now that we're on the topic of food,
Oh
fall or winter, that's kind of tough. I would say from fall, I love like a good tomato with like pumpkin or squash soup, just because I don't know. I'm weird. I like anything that fits the aesthetic, but for winter, I love if we're going ethnic. And I'm going into my roots. Pozole or tamales. My family also likes to make a lot of stews. But also I make really, really good cornbread. And I will tear up some really good cornbread. But that's for me. What about y'all?
For me, in general, I like some ribs. I know I convinced my mom to switch it up for Thanksgiving, so instead of turkey, we're getting ribs. So I'm like,
Barbecue ribs or smoked ribs?
I don't know what she's doing. All I know is that it's
I make
ribs.
some really good smoked ribs if you need some.
It's my mother's cooking, okay?
I'm taking
Anywho.
the stress out of her.
Okay, true. But I'm not gonna make you cook for... Anywho. And then for winter, I would say... Yeah, like something warm, like soup, just any type of soup. Or I have learned how to make ponche, which is like punch, like fruit punch, but like warm. So like I might bring some of that. How about that? For the winter. To stay nice and warm.
Hot chocolate sounds good right now.
I'd say for both, just like mashed potatoes with the peels. Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I guess for myself, I am always down for a hot pot.
Mm.
Hot pot is great, and it's also like the whole like unity thing where like you sit around the table and all get together. Usually a hot pot like brings people together, and when it's cold, I am really down for hot soup. And I'm allowed to control which ingredients to put in the pot, which is yay. So I can especially if I'm doing the shopping, I can make it biased. Great. And it's just
All the
really
faves
fun.
come up.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of freedom, and it's really easy to set up. You just put the soup base, and then you're done, and then you just cook it.
Gosh, I'm
Nice.
so hungry now.
For me, for the holiday, I would say baked mac and cheese. And for like the winter, probably tomato soup and grilled cheese. Those are like a golden combo. I love that. I can eat that every day.
I've been adding bacon bits to my grilled cheese.
Ooh,
Game changer. Oh my god, excuse me. Game changer.
Yeah.
that sounds good. Okay, so now we're gonna get into like tips on how to take care of yourself when you're sick. I can go first because I've been sick for like 2 weeks now. I got sick last week, unfortunately, and I had to miss a week of school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like, I'm pretty sure I had strep throat. Like I couldn't like swallow anything or nothing, and my throat was swollen. So that was fun. I basically just took a bunch of medicine, like a lot of medicine, like trying to like recover, and also had to miss work as well. So that was a bummer. But basically, I would say drink lots of tea and honey.
Yeah.
That helps. Drink lots of fluid and get a lot of rest. Like, don't like try to go out and do stuff because it's not gonna work.
If you don't mind me asking, do you know how you got sick?
I don't. Like, I feel like I got sick during Halloween weekend. That's what I feel like I got sick. And my friend, he flew in from Hawaii and he was already sick. and he came to the Halloween party, and he was sick. And then a couple days later, I called him. And he was like, "Oh, you sound sick," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "Oh, I might have gotten you sick." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, I think that's how I got sick. But I'm recovering. I'm still recovering. But yeah.
Yeah. I know one thing, especially with like holiday seasons coming around and Thanksgiving, probably passed by now. A lot of traveling, and not a lot of people like to take care of themselves or, be the most hygienic while they travel.
Yeah.
So, for sure, at least for me, I know sometimes I get sick when family come in from like different cities or they come from like really long trips, and then just a lot of germs kind of like spreading around. Maybe they're flying in, and maybe the person next to them like wasn't wearing a mask while they're coughing. I think just taking those extra precautions are like pretty important, especially now with like flu and cold and even COVID still just like popping around with like some cases. Just taking the washing our hands, putting on hand sanitizer, wearing a mask, sometimes social distancing if we need to. I think those are like habits hopefully all of us can do, because for sure, I know I usually tend to get sick from stress, especially with finals, because I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating right, and that kind of like takes a toll on my body.
I know for myself, I usually get sick around like when like the season is changing. So I think like the last time I got sick, it was pretty bad. It was nasty. But one of the like most important things that Anya mentioned was definitely staying home and like resting. I had like a couple shifts at work and I was like, dude, I'm not going. And if anything, your work should hopefully be understandable. Like, should understand the fact that like you don't feel well enough to go in. I was lucky enough that like my job was like, we got you. But definitely staying home, drinking tea, and kind of just sleeping throughout the whole thing so I wouldn't feel like bad. Yeah.
I'd say, at least for myself, when it comes to like how to take care of yourself when you're sick, I think I drink a lot of like vitamin C, like be it like the extra powder if I don't have like citrus on hand, or like eating oranges, using lemons in the drinks, etc. That really helps. And I'm gonna stress this, guys. Like, if you need to step out to take your medicine, do it. Because I'm gonna say sickness always drags out so much worse when you don't take your medication on time. So I'd say definitely prioritize, set alarms for your medication so that you can recover more swiftly. Because honestly, I think in high school, because I was like in class or something and I couldn't step out to like take care of like my pills or like whatnot, or I forgot. I think that's why I'd be sick for like weeks and weeks and I didn't rest. Like, resting properly is really important. So like, take your meds, drink your fluids, and also just like really prioritize taking care of yourself first, because it'll be way more productive if you recover first and then get back on track, rather than like being physically not your 100% and struggling to keep up with everything, because that's probably gonna make you sicker, and if it gets worse then you'll have more problems. So prioritize recovery.
I agree.
And we just wanted to share some information from the National Institute of Health, and that is that when
Unrelated. Oh, this is how people actually get sick sometimes, especially students.
Yeah, because when people are in situations or environments where they feel stressed or overwhelmed, their immune systems are end up getting suppressed by stress, and this can lead to, say, digestive issues, heart issues, and even skin irritation. And this really increases the risk of infection, so like getting sick, and just all sorts of sickness, be it like, I guess, like the flu, influenza,
Food sickness,
food poisoning. Guys, it happens. So take care of yourself, be really mindful of like what you're eating as well, because when your like immune system's compromised, things you can get really sick, and it's really easy to catch diseases. And according to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, studies have also shown that the lack of sleep due to stress can lead to changes in your like brain activity, which will also impact the digestive system as well as our overall immune system, which is why we stress like getting sleep in, because honestly it's better to take that step back, get some sleep in rather than pulling an all-nighter, because if you get sick, that's gonna set you back a lot more than just like taking a break and resting properly. Because in high school I would like pull all sorts of all-nighters because I was too stressed to sleep, and that just made everything worse.
Yeah, I think one thing that I like that was really brought up by both of the citations was kind of this connection from brain activity to our digestive activity. Kind of one quote that I heard recently was like, a healthy gut is a healthy mind, and a healthy mind is a healthy gut. I know for me, I tend to have the bad habit as of recently to kind of eat whatever just so I could feel satiated throughout the day. I'm not sure if any of y'all maybe want to talk about, your experience with like trying to eat healthy and how that affects like maybe getting sick, or I know I have a history of food poisoning because again, I just eat whatever. Don't eat clam chowder. That's not by the sea, by the way.
I actually have a funny story of me getting food poisoning like 2 years ago. It was during spring break junior year, and me and my two best friends, we wanted to like cook something and like have like a little like mini cookout at her house, and they put me in charge of making, because we were making chicken sandwiches, and they put me in charge of making chicken sandwiches, and I can't cook. So I was the one cooking it, and I also made like this In-N-Out sauce. It did not look like In-N-Out sauce, and I made the chicken sandwiches, and then they were like, Anya, I don't think it's done, and I'm like, no, it's done. So me and her little brother, we were the only two that were eating the chicken sandwiches, and literally the next day, both of us got sick, and because we ate uncooked chicken. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they were like, see, Anya, we literally told you it wasn't cooked. And I was like, well, I wanted to prove that I was a good cook, and it was cooked, but clearly it wasn't. And I was like sick for like a couple of days. And that was my first time getting food poisoning too. And I was like, oh my gosh, never again.
Yes.
Never again.
It's not fun.
Moral of the story, guys, check the internal temperatures of your
Yes.
meats.
Yeah.
Yes.
And same thing with like, be careful when you're eating foods that like should be refrigerated, or for example, but you didn't, or you left it outside. So like be mindful, because that can get you food poisoning as well.
Yeah, even like when reheating it.
Yeah.
I think
There are like certain standards for that too.
yeah, I had to do the whole like Serve Safe
Yeah.
certification again because it expired. So it's definitely, even like with reheating food, you should like check what temperature it's at, especially with like chicken.
And especially since a lot of people are going to be reheating their food, leftovers from holiday parties and stuff.
Yeah. It's like really important to be like mindful of all the processes and cleanliness and hygiene, like we were talking about earlier, because like cooking is going into your body, guys. So like you gotta make sure that everything's okay with your food. I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, I've also had my own experiences with food poisoning, and I learned that whatever I got that day, it's very, it was like transmutable, or like transferable? I like got the rest of my family like vomiting. They like all got like the whole food poisoning too, even though originally it was just me that was sick. Like I think my whole family ended up getting it too, and it was an experience. So like that's why like if you are sick, like try to like I guess be mindful that you're sick so you don't spread it to other people as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think trying to be aware of like when we're sick, or like maybe not acknowledge, but like
recognize.
yeah, like, okay, I'm sick and I should do this so I can't get other people sick. Whether that be washing my hands another 20, 30 seconds more, or like wearing a mask around people if I know that I'm like coughing or sneezing or just anything like that. As well as like, okay, maybe carrying wipes around or hand sanitizer when you're touching like doors or something like that. Just being aware of like, okay, I know I'm sick and this is what I should do to prevent getting other people sick.
Yeah, I know one thing that kind of tends to get overlooked a lot is actually hygiene. I know a lot of us tend to, or a lot of students, they tend to like overlook that, whether that be kind of like properly brushing their teeth, or maybe again taking some time to take a break and just like take that extra minute to shower. Especially considering like around this time, some people tend to underestimate how the healing benefits of like a nice shower can be. I know we're all in a rush. Sometimes I'm in a rush to kind of like just pop in and pop out just because I got to rush to school or I got to go to work or I got to go do something. And then next thing you know, I come out and I'm feeling kind of like icky and I'm just like, guys, this isn't really it. Or even for a lot of like people who go to the gym, just also to be aware, like wipe down the seats and all the instruments and all the weights and everything. Because again, some people they just be sweating a lot. I mean, good for you, you're going hard, but dang, bro, you are sweating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Does anyone maybe want to talk about like kind of like the changes in weather? Because I know that's kind of a big thing.
The weather is so bipolar. Like, oh my gosh. Like, one minute it's like really cold, and the next minute it's like really hot. So it's like, I feel like that's like a huge factor on why people get sick too. Because, like, the clothing we wear too. Like, I know for me, like, I think the other day I went to school with just like a long sleeve, like, thin, like, tank top on, and it was really cold. And I'm like, dang, I should have brought my puffer jacket because it's so cold. And I was like and I was still kind of sick, so it's like, yeah, I'm just not helping. I'm not helping my case here for real. But yeah, make sure you wear like the right amount, the right clothing too. Like, especially because like we're in November now, almost in December, so it's like time to bring out the puffer jackets for sure.
I think mentioning like weather, something I used to think was like useless was the weather app. And now it's like the first thing I check in the morning. I'm like, okay, what is Pookie gonna be today? Cold or hot? Like, pick one, please. And then, especially like being here at Ohlone, it's like you feel it even more.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh, if it's windy, I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be extra windy at Ohlone, or like it's gonna be extra hot. So it's like also kind of like trying to take that precaution of being like, okay, this is what the weather is gonna look like, so maybe this is what I should either wear, as well as like how I should eat as well, like, you know, maybe for like lunch, instead of like, I don't know, something cold you want to bring, like a little soup, or, you know, something to like, yeah.
Hot tea is severely underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiona, you wanna?
I was gonna say, because like with weather change, what like I started thinking about was just like seasonal depression.
Ooh,
And, like,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
for me, like I stay indoors, like I rot in bed, and like I know, like that's like not good. So like I'm trying to like get myself like out of the door and just like literally like not even like walking or anything, just sitting and like getting some sort of vitamin D. Yeah, and I guess like also like taking vitamins like with that, and also, oh my goodness, I was gonna talk about like how I got sick like last week, because I think it was because a mix of weather change and stress, and like, yeah,
What's the stress from
Yeah.
academics?
stress from like, yeah, definitely academics, yeah,
Just like
yeah.
hella overwhelmed. You're just too overwhelmed.
I
Huh?
was, overwhelmed, with assignments and like applying and everything like that, and also I was like I got sick like right after I traveled. I went through the airport, so someone I sat next to was not wearing. They weren't taking the safety precautions. Shame on them. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to weather, I'll just add, I know that for myself, like, we tend to focus on cold weather, but, like, with the weather being temperamental, we have, like, a really warm, say, like, October, September, despite it being the fall season. So I think on some of those days, I almost got, like, heat stroke. Say, like, Club Rush Day, where we were tabling out in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, just, like, same thing, I guess. Drink your fluids. Make sure you take care of yourself. Bring like extra clothing in an extra bag or something. Take that precaution, because sometimes the weather might take a turn for the worse. So if you have extra clothing, you can like bundle up and stay warmer.
I think one thing that also tends to get overlooked during, like, I would say exam seasons in general, is we're so focused and caught up on trying to do our best on our tests and labs and all these things that we tend to forget to give ourselves a break. I know for me, usually when I get sick around this time, like during my final seasons, again, lack of sleep, not eating the best. Literally today, had it not been for my mom packing me a sandwich, I probably would have been really hungry. And then I would just been like eating a bunch of junk food. And that's not really nourishing, because we got to take care of our bodies if we want to like do our best during these times. Because I really don't want to be that one guy who's like coughing in the background, just coughing their lungs out while everyone's doing their exams.
And I guess on that note, like, if you guys want to like prepare tea, I know that the cafeteria oftentimes has like a like, what's that called? It's not a, like, it has like one of those thermos containers that you can like dispense hot water from, so you can use those. And some of the shared spaces, most of them will have like a hot water kettle, so you can boil extra hot water if needed. You know, like the Mesa Center, maybe
The MSC has
the
a hot
MSC
kettle,
also
yeah.
has a hot water kettle.
Animoja.
Amoja also does. So like utilize those. Like if you needed to drink something warm because you're feeling cold, like you should go and get that warm drink, or like maybe bring a paper cup and then microwave water as well. You can also do that. So just like make sure to take care of yourself, stay warm, and just like be more, like pay attention to the signs and like your physical reactions to like your environment, because sometimes we just brush it off and that might lead to you getting sick.
So what's everybody's recovery plan when getting sick?
You want to start us off on?
But I'll start. So when I get sick, I first thing I do is like I email all my professors and I tell them like I'm not coming to class. Like I'm sorry, like I can't come to class. I'm sick. Like is there a way I can like make up like all the missing work and all that stuff? And then I tell my jobs like, oh, I can't come in. I'm sick. I use my sick hours. And then basically that's when I start like trying to take care of myself. Like I get rest. I make sure like drinking a lot of fluids. I'm getting medicine, the proper medicine. Sleeping. Also just making sure that I'm also taking care of myself too, like as far as hygiene wise, because when I'm sick, like I don't want to do nothing. Like I just want to lay in bed, but I know I gotta get up and still like take care of myself and all that. But yeah, that's my recovery plan, and I try to like do that for like a week straight, and by the end of the week, like that's how I determine if I'm ready to go back to my regular routine. But yeah, that's my recovery plan.
Yeah, I'd say mine is somewhat similar, although like it's kind of hard with like school, because it's like depending on your professor, they'll be completely understandable or some will be like no.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends. But I know like for myself it's definitely like, okay, I'm sick, so I should probably like take the medicine, you know, as soon as, like, you feel symptoms, or, like, as soon as I feel symptoms, I, like, okay, Mom, this is what I'm feeling, what should I do? And she's like, okay, like, I'll either make you, like, a little tea, or, like, you can drink this medicine, like, it's up to you, like, whatever you want to do. And then from there, it's just resting. I do like to bed rot when I'm sick, but then my mom comes in and she's like, okay, at least clean your room or something. And I'm like, I guess. Because it's kind of true. It's like your environment also kind of like makes you sick. So it's kind of, or like, I know for myself, I call my room the depressing room because that's how it is right now, because it's just like a mess everywhere. So so I'm just like, okay. So it's like being in a room that like everything is just messy and like disorganized makes me feel messy and disorganized and just kind of just like so definitely like trying to upkeep not only yourself but like wherever you're gonna be resting, try to like, you know, upkeep that will like make you feel better, I guess.
Yeah. I'd say for my plan, like, I don't have the professors that, like, they don't take any late work, so, yeah. But I just try to, like, see, like, when my assignments are, like, due, and, like, if I can just, like, I don't know, plan ahead. If I have, like, priority assignments, I just try to do it. And then, like, I take care of, like, myself, like, rest, fluids is very important, and, like, vitamin C as well. I know, like, you mentioned that. It really helps with, like, building your immune system as well as just getting good sleep. And, like, for, like, I do, like, bed rot, but, like, sometimes, like, I force myself just to, like, sit in the sun and, like, again, another way to, like, get that vitamin C. But, yeah, I guess so. I just prioritize, like, getting, like, staying hydrated and then, like, eating, like, soups I can, like, digest well. Or, yeah, foods I can digest well, I mean.
I like that you brought up, like, being out in the sun. I think, for me, my form of trying to recover, obviously same things, just giving myself some time to, like, recollect, whether that's bed rotting, because sometimes that is needed, or, again, just communicating with my professors, or even with my friends and family, like, hey, I need some space right now. I don't really want to talk to anyone. I just want to, like, sit in bed, or just, like, sit in the couch and just, like, let my mind just drift away while I just like inhale exhale through like one nostril, because it's always the allergies that get me. But one thing that for sure I've been putting a lot more into practice that surprisingly has been helping me is also just being outside. Again, just like embracing the sunlight, but also like Diana, my room ain't in the best conditions, and sometimes being in an environment where I don't feel like really energetic, or you know, if anything, it's just making me feel more like like it doesn't help me out. But at least being outside with my dog, as long as it's not raining, and you know, just like getting some air inside of my lungs, as much as air as possible, it helps out a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I like the idea of, like, you know, getting out to get the sunshine, but also considering that, like, it is December, it's like there sometimes isn't much, but, like, even then, maybe just even, like, opening the window or, like, going to your backyard, front yard, watering some plants, something to, like, get that fresh air into your system at least. If there isn't any sunlight, I guess, like, just the little things to, like, try and help you are important.
Even just treating yourself, that's a big one. Like maybe some junk food once in a while. Probably not the best, but like again, just a form of like self-care and just recovering.
I guess for myself, for recovery plan, like if I start to notice like early symptoms, I try to preempt it with like extra vitamin C packets, or like vitamin C cough like drops and cough drops. When my throat starts to like, I get like a itch at the back of my throat, that usually means I am getting sick. So in those cases, I'd either like preempt with cold medication, like if I feel like it's like really bad, and it's probably going to develop into something really serious. Otherwise, I just preempt with vitamin C. I try to drink a lot of tea or hot water. And if I have lemons at home, I'll use those for more vitamin C, because I think vitamin C is my family's approach for like the not using like cold medicine route if you're like not really sure that I'm like sick yet. So we used a lot of my vitamin C in our house. Most times I still go to school because I kind of have to, because if it's like a participation based class, I'll miss out. And usually I only miss school if like I have a fever or like it's like really bad. I typically keep my mask on if I'm pretty sick so that I don't get others sick, because I feel bad if me willfully going to school because I'm sick will get other people sick too. And I try to take more breaks and be mindful. Like I'll do like the bare minimum for my workload so that I can get extra rest, because I still have to get things done, unfortunately. So I can't just like rest completely. So yeah.
Speaking of rest, I for sure can use some right now. But again, like I said, just kind of emphasizing that breaks. There are a lot of spaces here on campus where, again, we can probably be outside, or when it's rainy or it's just too chilly. Like, there's a lot of rooms here on Fremont, on Newark even, where you can just like go and get some air, just reconnect with nature, and just like absorb as much sunlight as possible. Like Newark has that little trail out in the back of the campus, so nice. I've walked it like so many times. Fremont, obviously, with the pond and the palm trees, or even just like that little area going down Hyman Hall. A little bit of a walk, but it is nice, especially with all the fall colors. What about y'all? Y'all got a favorite place on campus you like to just go relax, recollect yourself?
In my car so I can go home. You know, like building 2 and how like you go to the 4th floor and it's just kind of like
The overlook.
yeah, the overlook, and kind of just like taking a deep breath there, and I'm like, and as I'm enjoying the view, I'm like, yeah.
I'd say mine is the pond. Like, listening to the water is just like white noise to me. And just like collecting like my thoughts and just like, I don't know, taking in the scenery. And I just people watch whoever's there.
Either like the little like meditation room we have here over there, or like if nobody's like on campus, I'll go in like the common area in building, is it building 3? 4, yeah. And sometimes I like to take a nap on the little couches. Yeah.
I guess for myself, unfortunately, because of my schedule, I'd be like perma on campus, and everybody's like, go home, and I'm like, I gotta be here on campus. So I do know a lot of like good spots. I'd say if you need like a spot to rest, the building 2 is really nice. I'd say the there's like glass window panes where you can just like overlook like the bottom half of the campus, and it's really nice. The view is nice too. And I really like those cushions. Like the seats are pretty comfy. Near like the elevator, and it's a really nice quiet working space too. There are a couple tables on the ends of, I believe, floor 3, but it might be floor 2 if I'm not remembering it right. And I also like to chill in the corner of Hyman Hall because it's nice and quiet. I see a lot of students taking naps there too, just because it's usually really quiet. Sometimes they pull 2 chairs together and they take a nap. And there's also a meditation space in Hyman Hall now. 2nd floor.
Super nice.
It's really nice. There's like a cool fountain that you can plug in, and you can listen to the water trickle down, and it's therapeutic.
Very meditative.
Yeah, and it's really atmospheric. And there's a really nice couch there too.
Okay. What's everybody's favorite thing to do after they recover from being sick?
I was gonna say like going out, but then I'm like to get sick again.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the answer actually.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like being sick and kind of just keeping myself like inside, I'm like finally the world again. And I'm like saying hi to my friends, going out to eat again and stuff like that. So I'm just like, okay, we're back into the groove of like, you know, obviously still taking the precautions, but it's still kind of like, okay, I'm back into this. Like, you know, yeah.
Mine will have to be what Diana said. Going out again, being able to see my friends again. I literally told them, I was like, when I was sick, I was like, I texted them and I was like, guys, I miss you. Like, I haven't seen you in a week. Yeah. And then also, like, because, like, after, like, I got over strep throat, I had, a bunch of, like, sinus issues, so I couldn't taste anything or smell nothing. And now that I'm getting over it, I can finally taste stuff again. So I'm excited now that I can actually enjoy my food.
I agree.
Yeah.
You literally took my answer. It's just to eat. I think usually when I'm, again, when I'm sick, just sticking to like a lot of warm liquids, herbal teas, or just like home remedies and soups as well. Like it's nice and it's very comforting, especially when you just feel very, like you just want to cry. But I love my food. I'm gonna go eat out. I know I've been saying like, you guys, you gotta take care of your gut, and you know, of course, you have to do that. But it doesn't mean you can treat yourself once in a while. And at least for me, I've been craving a good burger and some wings. So
Yeah. I think also like with the whole being sick, it's like you kind of don't crave food or like I don't know if that's just me, but it's like my mom's like, "Are you gonna eat?" And I'm like, "No, I don't feel like it." Or like there isn't like I don't know. I just don't feel like eating.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we missed earlier when we were talking about like taking care of yourself when you're sick. It's like forcing yourself to eat the nutritious food, even though you can't. It's like tasteless to you because you can't really taste it without like your sense of smell or like sometimes
or even just like feeling full.
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel full, but it's like okay, maybe in like 10 minutes or so I'm gonna feel hungry or something.
Yeah.
But like definitely like while feeling sick, I don't feel hungry for some reason, but it's still like okay, I still have to eat. So I think definitely like going out immediately to like eat and be like okay, this is what it feels like.
I think one thing you mentioned about being full, I'm not sure if anyone else feels this, but like I just get hella moody when I'm sick, or I just get really moody.
No, yeah.
I am moody. Like yeah, like. But I think being able to eat is what makes me happy. So I'm just like, let me eat in peace.
Now what? Everything's been said.
Fiona didn't get to say
I
anything.
don't know. Like you guys said everything. I guess like just getting back into like being productive. I guess because like you are like bedriding. You are just recovering. But like I guess like for personally, like, just seeing my friends. Yeah, and just like being able to like reconnect with them, even like if it's just a week. Yeah.
We didn't mention productivity. We're also focused on other things, but I think that's also one thing that I also enjoy, or I'm glad I can feel that again, especially after getting sick. Where I'm just like, again, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, what about my assignments or things I gotta catch up on? But then just going back to class and just saying hi to my professors or my friends, or even going back to work and just saying hi to my coworkers. I'm like, I'm back. And they'll be like, oh no. I'm just kidding. I love them all. But again, just that level of productivity and like, okay, we're back into the rhythm of things. We're back into the groove. Let's get some stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for me, recovering from sickness makes me realize how nice it is to not be sick and be like healthy.
Yeah.
And like after recovering from sickness, I'm usually just like really mindful and be like, how did I forget to do X, Y, and Z, which got me sick? So I'm like usually like a lot more conscientious about my health, because and I think I forgot to say it earlier, but also like when I'm sick, I have to eat like easy to digest foods. So, I try to take it easy, like post recovery too, because I'm like still trying to, like my body's still like catching up to like being normal.
It's also like, I don't know if you... I'm like, damn, I look like that? Like, when I'm sick? Because it's true. It's like, sometimes you're just too tired or too, like, just iffy to even, like, go take a shower, go eat, brush your hair, like, anything. So I'm, like, if I'm sick, I'm just gonna be like, what? And then it's just, no.
I don't know if anybody else has this fear, like when you get over a sickness, but you still have a lingering cough, and you're scared to go to class, and the class is silent, and you're just coughing, and you're
just,
trying
like,
to hold in
dying.
your cough too. Yeah, but that's so
Oh,
embarrassing.
It's
I'll be
okay.
ready to like just leave.
For me,
Like
it's the sneeze.
sneezing.
Yeah.
Cause I sneeze super loud. I don't know why. I got all like the problematic traits from my dad, but I'd be like, he's like a big sneezer, right? So when I sneeze, like the whole room will hear it, and it's like so loud, and I'm just like, God forbid. It's like disrupting class is like
Yeah.
going hard, like post recovery.
I think with, like, the whole, like, COVID thing, though, I know for me, it's like, it was kind of icky to, like, sneeze into my mask. So I just started, like, keeping it in.
Yeah, but choking it down is rough.
But, like, no, like, I just, like, I don't know, maybe one day y'all hear it, but, like, I just, like, I don't sneeze. I just, like,
Yeah.
keep it in.
Like you sneeze with your mouth closed. It's
Yeah, it's more like a, you know? And I'm just like, okay, so I'm gonna go deaf early because it might one day pop my eardrums, but, you know, like, I don't know. Because it's like, yeah, I'm just not used to, like, sneezing into my arm anymore because I'm just scared people are gonna be like, that was you. But, yeah.
Well, we are gonna have to wrap up this episode right now, but hopefully y'all learn to take care of yourselves. Be a little bit, more mindful and conscious. Wash those hands. Make sure to get enough sleep. Eat well as possible, anyways. I know for some of our students, maybe food isn't the most accessible thing, but just know we do have our basic needs resource office here at Aloni, which is up in Building 5 and Floor 3, up in the Office of Student Life. Paul Simpson, great guy I work with, will always help you out as best as he can, and always tends up doing a lot more for us. We love him. And then, even then, if you are just feeling sick and you're like, I don't want to go to my healthcare provider, or I don't know who to schedule with, you can schedule with us here at the health center. Our nurse practitioner, Sway, one of the kindest humans ever. She's always happy to work with our students and support y'all. Even if you're like, I don't know, I just feel a little off, you can always go talk to her, and she's always happy to help you all out. Anya, you want to mention a little bit about some of our health services that we do offer?
Yeah, and also we do have student wellness counselors that are here to also support you and listen to you. There's me, Diana, and Kiona, and our other coworker, Tian. We're here in the health center Monday through Thursday, so feel free to drop by. And yeah.
We got over-the-counter meds. Again, our student wellness counseling, mental health counseling. I know sometimes being sick can take a toll on us emotionally, and just like our drive can be down. So just know there are resources here. But yeah, thank y'all for being here for us.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 6. Can't wait to see you guys in episode 7. So
Next semester.
Next semester.
And while we are apart, everyone, take care, stay healthy, and I hope all of our stories will be cautionary tales and you will never experience getting super sick the way we have in the past.